Okay, hi everyone. Welcome back to Game 3 of the FFA World Championship, or solo, I guess. And each game is winner takes all, so keep that in mind. It's a little bit different from normal ranked ladder. And so far in the standings, after games 1 and 2, we have Icy Stun and Forcax each with 1 win. Okay, and this game will ultimately be won by Green, so let's look at his perspective. And that'll be the second Green win, so it should be interesting. Alright. Okay, Red starts off with the Rook Pawn move against the person to his right, so that could indicate some aggression. Okay. So Blue has sort of the short end of the stick here. He's been hit by red pawn moves on each side. I'll have to deal with that. And he won't be able to take his queen out through this diagonal easily, so he's probably coming through this diagonal eventually. Okay. And Green takes this valuable knight move. And we remember from a previous game where this tactic was employed to weaken the king side. So this could be a good development square for the knight. Probably better than here because then he doesn't have to deal with this threat either. Okay, and it leaves some potential for later. Okay. And alright, this knight also comes out here. This is a little different since even if the knight is going to be weakening something, it's not going to weaken the king side for Green to take this way. So Green can safely leave his king in the center, and it will still have the protection of these 2 pawns, or these 3 pawns even. And if this pawn captures away, it'll probably be okay. So this knight move for yellow is fine, but it's not as damaging as if it were on the king side. Okay. All right. Okay, that's a little surprising to me. Well, I guess this diagonal is already open, so Green does have to take his queen out of this path. Okay. And Red. Okay, this is a little slow from Blue because he cannot bring his queen out through this diagonal anymore. It's only this diagonal. This pawn move, I'm not sure what it accomplished in this position. Perhaps he wanted to bring the queen out, but did not want to become checked. Yeah, okay, makes some sense. This could be a potential checkmate on Green if we're not careful here, and that's like exactly what they're setting up for. So Green has 1 move to stop this. He could try bishop out. What would be the other choices? Could try pawn up, not really that good. Probably bishop would be the best choice here. Yeah. Okay. And Red activates the rook. Interesting. So later if this knight move would happen, that would not be attacking the bishop and the rook. And Red would also not have to take back with a pawn. He could take back with a rook. That would be pretty good for Red. And activating a rook early could also be good for several other reasons, so I like this move. Okay, and Blue finally brings the queen out. Now, Green is not going to have his queen out, and that could sort of spell disaster here, so let's see what happens. Okay. But he has turtled himself up well, so it's tough to attack him without trading anything. And nobody wants to trade at this point. They just want free damage, free attacks, so he'll probably be safe for a couple moves here. And blue moves away from the potential there. Okay, so everyone playing pretty safely. And this is threatening a pawn fork. So red moves the queen, attacking green's pawn. Okay, this could be an opportunity for yellow to get in there and attack green. Right, if yellow attacked this pawn, red attacked this pawn, it would be tough for green to take back on yellow's bishop because of the threat on the rook here. So let's see if they do that. No. Okay. Okay. Green defends. Interesting that red would move back here. Not sure about that. You're sort of undeveloping yourself in that case, but maybe he's just waiting to see what happens here. Okay, and okay. So this check, I guess, is letting red come in here and start grabbing. But if he takes out the queen, what's the plan? That's my question. Oh, there's a bishop covering. Okay, so he has to take with something else or run. Probably don't want to run though. You probably want to take it. Probably want to take it with the with the pawn of the knight. Yeah, I'm gonna take with the pawn. Okay, so he does. Okay, and he did manage to castle, but there's lines of attack in that case. And in the meantime, blue has been able to push this pawn 2 squares, and red was not able to en passant because he was on the attack. So he has successfully blocked several paths of attack, and he's going to have another attack on yellow's rook in a second here. So let's see. Okay, so blue significantly damaged by that. The investment was low, so it was a singular knight, and well, yellow got the short end of the stick. He didn't really get anything out of it. Wow, red was able to capture a certain amount of blue's forces there, so that's good for blue. For red. Okay, this move. Excuse me. This move does trap in red's queen for the moment, but ultimately I'm not sure if that will come to anything. Okay, and now green could think about a sacrifice. I don't know about that. That seems a little early to be giving up your dark squared bishop. And red cannot, like, if red could move the queen here, next move, and defend it, that would be one thing. But red can't really take advantage of this right now, I feel. Okay, and this bishop move is likely just to get the queen out. Okay, so red actually could take advantage of that. Interesting. And now what will yellow do? Just move back. Okay, so I was wrong about the bishop move there. If blue had taken, then that would have been another check. And blue, I guess, would rather preserve his dark squared bishop here. Okay, and green just moves back. Okay, so green is going to hang blue out to dry here, and then see what happens. Clearly he's just making waiting moves. Okay, that is a little aggressive as well, but I guess This will lead to some attack, although he also has, yeah. I'm not sure if this is working. Take that as well. And what's the idea for red to take here? Yeah, okay. So this is quite, I think they went a little overboard here. And green can just come out. All right. And then yellow decides to take red's queen. Okay, so they really messed up that attack, and the initial bishop sacrifice on this pawn was not good. They ended up committing too hard, and now green's in a nice position because he still has both bishops and the queen, which are the early powerhouses. Rooks are a little bit better at endgame. And let's take a look at the chat here to see what the players are saying. Neither player really deserved that one. Okay, so yeah, they're just sort of probably commenting on the attack and how it sort of failed. Now in this position, let's take stock. Points wise, a lot of pieces were traded between blue and yellow, but since, and also somewhat for red, but since it's still a four-player situation, points are not really gonna win you the game. It's gonna be your king safety and your your current material count, and your ability to make queens. So for ability to make queens, still no one's really got anything going. I would say yellow has some potential since he's next to blue, who's pretty weak, and these pawns look like they could push, and the king safety is not bad either. Green has some potential to push pawns. Red might just go ahead and push just one pawn. So let's see. Red moving in. Okay. Now green going on the offensive. What is this move doing exactly? Well, he could be coordinating with blue over here, but I doubt that. Well, yeah, maybe blue would take that. I don't know. Yeah, blue doesn't have enough material left to start sacking like that. And now, okay, so green got a little ambitious with the queen move here. And what will he choose to take? Well, you should probably preserve the queen and move it to a square where it protects the bishop. But then you would get a knight move. And you'd probably lose that bishop anyway, so potentially you could just go for taking this bishop. Let's see. Yeah. This also opens up the rook, and so he got some compensation. He got a bishop back for the queen, but still an overall loss. He does bring red's knight into a nice position to attack blue, however. So let's see if that happens. Moves the queen. Right, so it's still going to be a fork anyway. But red does not go for it. So red is offering a truce here between red and blue. And blue decides to accept that truce, not taking that knight either. Okay, so there's a temporary ceasefire for red and blue. And yes, this is like the only time you could get your king over here because there's no extra threats from other players when red makes this check. And he's got his king in a safe place now. So, so if you want to do this kind of king maneuver, you cannot do it when there's a lot of queens. You cannot do it when there's a lot of action in the center, because it will be too easy to get checked and just get ruined by the player to your left. But the game has calmed down to the point where it's going to be players being low on material and just starting to pawn push. Notably, there are also no ways for anything to get on this diagonal. At the moment, blue's bishop or this queen could later, but no one else has light square bishop, so it's a nice idea to put your pieces on the light squares. if you're green. Okay. And blue takes that long diagonal. Not bad. Let's see who starts pushing pawns. Okay, blue pushes that one anyway to save it. Okay, green makes another waiting move here. And it looks like blue may actually queen here. Okay. So that was a nice tactic by green. There's 2 threats on red now. This knight will live or this bishop will get taken. And red chose to try and defend it, but then there's the second tactic here. And now, yes. Blue is sort of forced to work with anyone who will help him. And this is a common thing you'll see. Blue is sort of forced to work with anyone who will help him because he needs to get players out of the game. Since his material is quite sparse. He does still have a queen, which is great for attacking, so basically the first person to team up with blue could get some benefit out of it, and did in this case. So green got the checkmate and preserves the bishop as well, which is very important. So having 2 bishops at this stage in the game means, especially with 8 pawns left, means he's in quite a strong position, also has the most points. So if we don't see yellow and blue team up aggressively now, then it'll be a win for green. Okay. So let's see. Okay, and green does manage to control the queening square for blue here. I would have liked to see yellow take this bishop back when his knight was in a position to do so and run away, so to give blue the option to push forward here. But we didn't see that, so okay. And this promotion, of course yellow should take it, but it will ruin his pawn structure a little bit. Why wouldn't blue just take, or green just take? I'm not sure. Still had plenty of time at this point, so yeah, I mean, I guess it kept this rook from developing for a little bit longer, but excuse me again, not a big deal. Okay, now yellow taking this, I know it's basically hard for yellow to get his rooks out to attack green because of this wall of pawns. Maybe that was part of green's intent here, but yellow should sort of just deal with it, control himself, and focus on green now. That's not really what we saw. Okay, and blue did manage to promote. So this would be a good time for yellow to like attack this, and that would basically ruin green's position. I guess green would be able to take the rook. That would be the only thing. Okay, and green decided he'd rather take the knight, not trade for the queen yet. Interesting. So it seems there's some, right, there's some leftover alliance between green and blue. This really shouldn't be there, I feel, at this stage, because it's only serving to benefit green. You can see that blue has the material advantage. Nice maneuver there. You can see that blue has a sort of material advantage with the 2 queens, but the pawns are actually quite strong here, and I would say green's in the best position because of all that potential. Promotions are easier in this game than in normal chess. Okay, but blue, he is starting to pick at green a little bit. Probably is just more interested in getting his queen on this dark square and perhaps going for a checkmate on yellow in the near future. And basically blue and yellow traded away all their pawns with one another. Green just stayed in a safe position, waited for them to do so. It's also nice that green has this dead pawn here from red, which is providing additional protection to him because he can protect it with the bishop, so it's like just an extra layer of defense there. Okay. And green feels now, okay, 3 queens, that's probably too many. I'll trade my rook off for the most potent one in terms of points. Okay, a few more pawns are traded, and now it's time for green to use his last piece. Green's in a pretty tenuous position though because he has not been able to push any pawns, and if anyone promotes he'll be in a very bad position. Of course yellow and blue don't want each other to promote either, so it's pretty much a standoff here, because if anyone promotes then the other 2 players will go attack them. But if green can get it down to a 1v1 I feel very good about its chances. Even if it were against blue with 2 queens, I would feel fine as green, I think. Okay, so, right. Yellow promotes to a queen, and green has king safety. So it might be tempting for blue and yellow to just attack each other with their queens. They sort of need to resist the temptation. Yellow might even, okay. So yellow decides to trade that off. And, okay, blue just lost out big time. Okay, so let's see what was the whole result there. Right, but this is sort of suicide from yellow. If anything, yellow should let the promotion happen. And it's really hard when you are the guys with less king safety. Yellow has less king safety than green, obviously, to let another player promote, because it's more likely that they would use their promotion against you. But at this point they had to wow, and green didn't lose anything in that exchange. Yes, so interesting. Okay, now they really know that they need to attack green. And he's got basically as safe a position as you can get with the current material he has. But he does, that's important, he does manage to get yellow's pawn off the board there. And he wasn't going to promote that pawn anyway, so yellow's most advanced pawn came off, and now let's see. Okay, he gets over there. Okay, but importantly there are not 2 queens left, so there's no way to use this diagonal to checkmate green. So he can wait. And if yellow does promote again, that will be probably enough. But blue's not interested in letting him do that. So why would blue block with the queen? Because there's this bishop. So he's guessing yellow will not take, but now yellow can just move away and green can take, right? Oops, did I skip ahead? If green takes, then what happens? Let's check the comments. Okay, let's take a look. So then, this queen was not taken. I wonder if that would have improved. Yeah, that should have definitely improved green's chances, because they should have cooperated anyway. They should have been cooperating the whole time, so taking that queen would have been a good move. Okay, let's try to speed up a little bit. Anything happening? Not really. Okay, and wait, so blue, I don't understand why blue would not want to just, oh yeah, because green could retake, okay. Okay, but now blue checks and checks, and now the checks are going in the other direction. Check. So it's sort of just like, there's a king that's easier to check, and so you check that king. And I like how blue with no defense just moved his king out to the center where it's tougher to checkmate it. Okay, and check there. Okay, so that's gonna remove that queen. Okay, so yellow, getting a little low on time there, tried to remove the blue queen, and that would have worked in doing so, but green actually had a checkmate here. So that gave green enough points that it wouldn't matter what else happened. So let's see. Okay, yeah, blue also mentioned that he could have okay. Yes, Cha-Cha Real Smooth, another fantastic player, is making some funny jokes here. Says Icy trying to promote team's behavior in solo. Wow. Yes. If you don't know, Icy Stun is also the team's world champion right now, so okay. So here we are, and that's the end of the game. So that wasn't a super interesting game, not a lot of attacking going on, but Green's slow march towards victory did pay off for him this game, and he sniped the checkmate at an important moment. So well done to Green for the passivity, and blue and yellow needed to make something happen eventually. Team up a little bit. Yeah, blue was complaining a little bit about yellow not sacking a rook for that bishop, for example, which would have made the attack a lot faster. So Yes, it is true. What Blue said, you have to sack for that bishop if you want a chance to win. And well, Blue was willing to help him out, and he didn't go for it. So then Green ultimately took the victory. So good game, everyone. And now I believe it is up to 1-1-1 for 3 of the players. So we'll see what happens in game 4.